NDC did not apply to INEC in the formal manner. It just wrote it a letter of intent on the 18th of August, and that she wants to be shortlisted among those who have the intention to register. INEC then wrote it back and said that no, we are discontinuing your request on the ground that your logo is similar to that of ADC, that of APC and other political associations that have applied to register. So we will not accept it. Now, the position of the law is that if INEC refuses your registration application or letter of intent, within 14 days, you should go to court. That was 18th of August when this letter was written to them. They did not go to court until November 10th, which is far beyond the 14 days. Yet the court accepted. And then when it went to court, it did not submit any of the requirements of the Constitution, any of the requirements of the Electoral Act, any of the requirements of the guidelines and regulations of INEC. Yet the court ordered for, gave it a favorable judgment and ordered for its registration. This is what I call a judicial murder. Anybody, you don't need to be a lawyer, anybody who read the processes, and I have read the entire processes from their originating summons to the judgment, nothing added up, absolutely nothing added up. And then they brought it back to INEC. And INEC accepted. Of course, INEC will accept a court order, no matter how terrible that order is. But, good administrative process demanded that INEC appeal that judgment. INEC ought to have appealed that judgment because the grounds are too glaring. When you have not met any of the requirements of the law, and then they said you have met all, and that they say, it's too bad. So the fact that INEC refused to appeal, and then not only refused to appeal, but gave us certificate, not only gave us certificate, but also said it will not appeal. It was after it was given the registration that it went and started filling in the executive of the party. Haba,
So who exactly are you planning to sue, the INEC or the ADC?
No, we are trying to appeal. We are not even parties to this, but we will go to the Court of Appeal and show reason why the Court of Appeal we will apply for leave for the Court of Appeal to allow us to apply to appeal, first, out of time, and two, not being even parties to it. But it is of grievous national importance. Why? Because we have applied ourselves. We have expended hundreds of millions. We have, in our view, fulfilled everything. Yet we were rejected. And then we went to court. And for 5 months, we've been battling in court. Yet these ones just went to court within 32 days, they got judgment. So we think, look, we have to, it is about time that every Nigerian stood up for what is right and stood up against what is wrong. And clearly, this registration is wrong.
Sir, some people may accuse you of simply being bitter or jealous over the success of NDC, especially now that many prominent opposition figures are expected to join the party. How do you respond to that?
Well, first and foremost, I am a Muslim. And as a Muslim, I am enjoined by my religion to reject what is bad, what is unjust, even if it benefits me. I am not jealous. Why should I be jealous? There are, NDC is not the only political party that was registered on the basis of court order. 2, there is National Democratic Party, led by one Mrs. Ada, and then there is one Liberal Party, also APL or something like that. All of them by court order. But we did not say anything. Why? Because we were together with them. They were among the 14 that applied. We were in INEC, offices every day. We were in INEC in the 2 interactive sessions. We were there when, during the collection of the portals, course for the portals and so on. We all know each other. But NDC was nowhere there. That is why we are doing it. And I started this thing the day after NDC was named as having been registered. It was registered on the 5th of February. I was on the television opposing this on the 6th of February.
Dr. Umar Ardo, some may think you're not even a member of NDC.
I'm not.
Yet you appear deeply concerned about its
I am not a member of NDC. I cannot be a member of NDC because it's lazy. I am concerned because it will affect our country. It will affect our democracy. When you build your country on the foundation of lies and injustice and dishonesty, how can you build a nation under that? A party that got registration under these conditions, what kind of government do you think it will form? So the end result will be Nigerians that will suffer for it. And so what we are doing is to halt it before it gets bad.
Some people are accusing that maybe President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is using you like how people suspect he's using Nafi Ubala. So how would you respond to this similar allegation?
In the first place, I have never ever seen President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I have never ever made an effort to see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I have no reason to see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If there is any critic in Nigeria against this regime, I will be number 1 or number 2 and number 3. I will not go below that. Now, in the contrary, if you think deeply, it could very well be that NDC is being used by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Come to think of it.
Why do you think so, sir?
If they say INEC is very harsh in not registering a political party, if they say that the courts will play the game of the presidency and refuse anything that will get the registration of a political party, then see all of a sudden a political party that did not apply, did not fulfill any of the requirements of the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and the guidelines, will go to court against all the glaring evidence that it did not. Yet the court, within 32 days, will give her a favorable judgment and order INEC to register her and to allow her to participate in everything. And then you bring the order to INEC. INEC said, we will give you certificate and we will not appeal it. Who do you think is more likely to be used, is being used by government? Is it me who is opposing this, or is it NDC that has gotten it on the platter of gold? If you are not, like they will say, how will you get it? They are those who the government favored that will get this thing, even without fulfilling the provisions of the law.
But why do you think the government will do that?
Why do you think the government will also use me to do that? Is it not for the government the government will do that in order to divide the opposition? Now they say that critical stakeholders are trying to in the opposition are trying to move into NDC. Now, if they move into NDC from APC or ADC, is it not the opposition that is being divided? Who is the likely beneficiary? Is it not the incumbent? So it does make sense that NDC could very well be playing the government cards.
DCL English, Nigeria to the world.